Hello everyone, my name is and today we will be giving you some knowledge about what is globalization and its impact to the business world and environment. But before that, let me also introduce my group mates. So they are Trisha Rivera, Kim Robles, Rizal Rombano, and Israel San Jose. So what is globalization? Globalization is the term used to describe the way countries are becoming more interconnected both economically and culturally. Globalization is an international process driven by trade, investment, technology, and finance. This process has effect on the environment, culture, political systems, economic development, and prosperity, and also to the human physical well-being in societies around the world. So, in economic terms, globalization describes an interdependence of nations around the globe fostered through free trade. And in simpler terms, globalization is the spread of products, technology, information, and jobs across national borders and cultures.
Now that we have discussed the meaning of globalization, let's move on to its impact in the business world. According to Reinhard, we live in an age of globalization. That is, national economies are ever more tightly connected with one another than ever before. The global changes in the world, changes in political, economic, and most especially in business activities, are planning to change their strategies and go out from the borders of their own country. Now, let's discuss the advantages of globalization to the business world. First, in every country's economic growth, it is strongly believed that increased globalization leads to greater economic growth for all parties. There are several reasons why this might be the case, including access to labor, access to jobs, access to resources, and the ability for nations to specialize. Global and regional cooperation allow nations to recognize their economic strengths, knowing that they trade products for other resources. Second, the increased global cooperation. For a globalized economy to exist, nations are willing to put aside their differences to work together. Lastly, and third, the increased cross-border investment. This international investment has been shown to enhance welfare on both sides of the equation.
There are disadvantages of globalization. The first one is increased competition. When viewed as a whole, global free trade is beneficial to the entire system. Individual companies, organizations, and workers can be disadvantaged. However, by global competition, this is similar to how these parties might be disadvantaged by domestic competition. The second is disproportionate growth. Globalization can introduce disproportionate growth both between and within nations. These effects must be carefully managed economically and morally. Within countries, globalization often has the effect of increasing immigration. In macroeconomics, immigration increases gross domestic product or GDP, which can be an economic boon to the recipient nation. And lastly, environmental concerns. Increased globalization has been linked to various environmental challenges, many of which are serious, including deforestation and loss of biodiversity caused by economic specialization and infrastructure development. and greenhouse gas emissions and other forms of pollution caused by increased transportation of goods. And lastly, the introduction of potentially invasive species into the new environment.
Good day everyone, I am Rizal Rombano and I'm here to discuss the impact of globalization on environment. But first, what is the meaning of environment globalization? Environmental globalization involves an intensifying, deepening, and expansion of global networks, leading to increasing global uniformity and connectedness in regular environmental management practices. Also, according to Lee from 2000, globalization brings new environmental health risks such as rise of non-communicable diseases like coronary heart disease and cancers, and forms of substance abuse such as alcoholism and tobacco which is related diseases. Globalization can help spread the positive effects of environmentally friendly technologies and practices from developed to developing countries. This can reduce pollution in developing countries. But why does globalization destroy the environment? Globalization increases global consumer demand. This sparks an increase in production to meet demand. Increased production means increased pressure on environment and the faster depletion of natural resources.
Globalization has also led to an increase in the transportation of raw materials and food from one place to another. But the amount of fuel that is consumed in transporting these products has led to an increase in the pollution levels in the environment. It has also led to several other environmental concerns, such as noise pollution and landscape intrusion. Transportation has also put a strain on the non-renewable sources of energy, such as gasoline. The gases that are emitted from the aircraft have led to the depletion of the ozone layer. Humans may rejoice on the glimmer with these innovations, but these can have long-term effects on the environment.
Hasayo, hasayo, si seguimos hasayo.